What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this podcast off with showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. Guys, my friends over at CompanyCam are absolutely amazing. It's the only app every HVAC or service company needs. CompanyCam makes it dead simple to communicate, document, and problem solve with your technicians no matter where you are. CompanyCam brings documentation, communication, and liability protection together in one simple, easy-to-use app for you and your entire team. Take unlimited photos and videos, share custom reports, create flawless before and afters, and even communicate and share progress with property owners with galleries and project timelines, all from your smartphone. CompanyCam, the only app every HVAC/service company needs. Check it out at companycam.com /HVAC Uncensored. Go get your free 14-day trial. And if you like it, you get 50% off your first 2 months just for being a part of HVAC Uncensored Nation. And the trial, no credit card, no nothing. Try it legit, risk-free for 14 days. If God forbid you don't like it, then hey, no harm, no foul. But I know that you will. Next, you guys know who it is. And I don't know why this is taking forever. But anyway, you guys know who it's going to be. Is my friends over at Bluon. Guys, when they say that they are upgrading the HVAC industry, they are literally doing that in so many different ways. If you haven't noticed, we have some special episodes coming out with Bluon. The video should be out shortly. We're doing those. They're recorded. They're not live shows. But like I tell everybody, some people need certain tools more than others. And Bluon is some of those things. And hey, maybe you don't need the tech support as much as a newer tech. Maybe you don't need the manuals as much, but whatever it is, but Bluon is that one tool that you have in your pocket, you have in your tool bag that is there when you need it. I understand that some of you don't make the decision on where you can buy parts and how you can use it. But if you have the ability to do so, guys, it simplifies everything when it comes to your truck stock and just scanning things as you go. And at the end of the day, place an order, and the next morning you could have it delivered to your house, delivered to your shop. You can pick it up on your way in. It simplifies and makes you so much more efficient in the daily things you have to do anyway. Their tech support is the best, bar none, hands down. It's not even a debate. And we all get stuck and can't find manuals for whatever it is. As you guys know, right here on this show, somebody was joking and they found the manual for a 75-year-old boiler. As a joke, but they found it the next day in less than 24 hours. So if you are not using the Bluon app, you need to, all right? So check out my friends at Bluon, upgrading the HVAC industry. Let's get on to the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast, and I'm your host, Gil Cavey Jr. Here we are, another hump day, another Wednesday, and another amazing freaking show for you guys. I know that we've been covering a lot of things that have been more business than tech related, and I understand that. A lot of them have been able to be twisted when it comes to how it would affect the tech. I'll be honest with you. Tonight is 100% business, home service business. But I'm telling you, I am super excited. And I don't care if you're a technician, you will enjoy this show. This guest has been on before, back when it was me and Kelly, and it was an absolute blast. I enjoyed every second of it. This person is one of the best minds in the home service industry. And reading the books and all this different stuff, I've learned so many things. As you guys know, I was a technician. I didn't know anything about running a business or management or nothing. And I've learned so much that's relatable, that's easy to understand. It's easy to input it when it comes to his books. And I can't even wait to read the new one and talk about it tonight. And as well as this amazing guest, I also have a special host tonight that you guys know, one of my good friends and AKA boss, Mr. Ryan Grimes. So guys, without further ado, help me introduce these great men.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There we are.
Oh, wrong one. What are we doing? Sorry, I was trying to get the vertical one. There we go. There we go. How are you, fellas?
Wonderful guy.
Amazing.
How you doing, Tommy?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to thank both of you for coming on, and Tommy especially. Thank you for coming on, man. I really, not even saying that because you're on here, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed every second of the last time that you were on here, and that's the God's honest truth that your book, by being able to read it, like I was a technician. I didn't know dick about management or nothing. I've learned a bunch from Ryan, which people find it funny because Ryan's younger than me. But as far as business, he knows way more than I ever knew. But being able to read your book, Home Service Millionaire, was a lot of like, it was easy to digest, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people give you information, but it's like kind of leaves you lost. So. All right, I guess you're already here. I don't got to kiss your ass anymore. But
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was a fun.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. And if you guys have not checked that out, we'll go over both of his books. But when you listen to the audio book, it's actually Tommy's voice we were talking about off air, which is absolutely awesome. And I'm glad that it is your voice. But I guess if God forbid people have been living under a rock and they don't know who Tommy Mello is, let them know a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Michigan, about an hour outside of Detroit, Sterling Heights. Mom and dad got a divorce when I was 7. Mom decided she wanted to keep the house. She worked 3 jobs. What do you do when you're a kid in Michigan? You mow lawns, shovel snow, right? And then I got a job washing dishes when I was 12, $4 under the table because I wasn't legally able to work. And I learned how to work hard for the next decade. Then I learned how to delegate. Then I got into the garage door business, started painting garage doors. And then I started my own business. In 2010, I separated from my partner, took on all the debt. And that's why I wrote the book, Home Service Millionaire, $50,000 in debt to a $30 million company. This year, we're going to break $200 million. But revenue is for vanity. Profit is for sanity. I talk a lot more about profit now, which, we're going to do about $50 million. And we're turning into a machine, acquiring companies, partnering with companies, and we're changing lives. And, the garage door is the smile of your home. 40% of your curb appeal. It's the number one ROI on the home. And I believe in garage doors, man. I love garage doors. I love what it's done for me, my family, my coworkers, the community. And we're in 20 states, 37 markets, and expanding pretty rapidly. And I'm having a hell of a fun time doing it. So that's me in a nutshell. Just living the best life. And a lot of people get on podcasts and they talk about, all the great stuff. But I really love every day. I enjoy Mondays, and I just enjoy leading the people. I enjoy being a coach. I enjoy watching people succeed around me. And if anybody ever wants to come out here and do a shop tour and just see what we're doing, we're in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been here since 99. And that's about me. It's A1 garage door service.
That's awesome. And the other thing is, so people know, like, so how long has A1 Garage been around? And you started this from the ground up.
Yeah, I started it in 2007. So, 16, 17 years ago. And I made every mistake in the book. Here's the real deal is you look at me and you look at the company and you say, wow, I wish I could do that. Or I wish this included me getting stolen from, cars flipping. My mom and stepdad worked for me. This included me writing checks to make payroll back to the company. If it could go wrong, it did go wrong. So I'll tell you this. There's a lot of sacrifice. Anybody that thinks business is easy, it's not. Anybody that thinks it comes easy, it's not. Anybody that doesn't know, I was the king of Craigslist when I started. I made every mistake in the book. I was the cheapest. I didn't know how to price correctly. I didn't know what branding meant. I didn't know KPIs. I didn't understand management. I didn't understand an org chart. I didn't know anything. And so I had to learn the hard way. I read a lot of books. I started my own podcast, The Home Service Expert, and here I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Go ahead, Ryan. I know you're dying for something to ask.
Oh, I can sit here and ask you questions for days, man. No, I relate a lot to you because I feel like right now, me and Gil are at a point where I'm like, I was talking to him before we left here. I was like, man, I feel like we've made every mistake in the book. Where we wrote out a $10 million plan on the whiteboard and reverse engineered it, and then I ran out of whiteboard and I had to get 2 more whiteboards. And I mean, 8-foot whiteboards, reverse engineered how we're going to get there, and we got it every little step laid out. And 90% of that board is erased now. And now I'm thinking, man, we'll be ready to go to hit the button on Monday. We're spending a bunch of money, and we're going to see. And I've done this not to this extent before, but we feel like we've made every mistake in the book. We feel like we've tried everything in the book, and I started visiting other shops around that I wanted to be like, and I just sat with the owner all day. And I think that has been wildly helpful, and going to the events. I wrote at the Rhino X event, I got up with Leland Smith, and he showed me something that literally made me $100,000. And just it was a 5-minute conversation on how to adjust your equipment deals. He said something I never even heard of before, and I brought it to the vendor, and they're like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Whoa," So that's where we're at.
Here's the deal. We were spoiled the last 4 years, and I don't care who you are. If you weren't making money these last 4 years, if you didn't have calls coming out the yin yang, if you didn't have a recruiting problem, and the tides are turning, interest rates are up. Government subsidies are running out. Real estate's not doing what it was doing. You look at these things going on right now in the economy, right? Demand is down, period. And everybody thinks, man, we got to grow. We got to grow. Do you understand that if we grew the next 3 years like we grew the last 3 years, the home service industry would be about the size of the GDP? It's not possible. So there's going to be big winners and a lot more losers. And if you're not prepared for it, the time was last week. The time was last quarter to be thinking about this. But if you're not top grading, if you're not looking at KPIs, most of the issues happen within your 4 walls. If your booking rate's not through the roof, if you're not fighting for every lead, if you don't have a rehash team, if you're not double downing on training, then you're going to be going through hell in the next 3 years. I promise you that. It cannot continue at this pace. It's not possible. So the big winners are going to be extremely big, and there will be lots of losers. And a lot of people are deciding now, and I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, because looking at your numbers and making the calculated adjustments are the right thing to be doing. But assuming you're going to grow like you've grown the last 3 years is just, maybe there are companies going to do it, but it's not everybody I know is like, I'm building a training center and I'm getting rebranded and I'm investing in this and that. And I'm like, well, how much money do you have in your balance sheet? How much cash do you have available? And what are you prepared to do if the market does take a shit? We hit a recession or even a depression. What's your plan? What's your contingency plan? Hope for the best, plan for the worst. And I don't see a lot of businesses that are thinking about this. They're like, there's this quote by Warren Buffett. I was reading a book yesterday on the plane, and this is the facts. Warren Buffett said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." And I can't explain. Like, to me, that meant, when everybody's kind of lowering their marketing and they're kind of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. They're calling their marketing companies going, I need more leads. I need more leads. It's like, what are you doing in your 4 walls to make a difference? Because I don't care about Bidenomics. I don't care about Russia, Ukraine. What are you doing about it? Are you waiting for anything out of your control? Inflation. My dispatchers aren't showing up. There's another COVID variant. That's bullshit. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah. I told you get pumped up when he talks, man. No, and that's the truth. And I think with us, and I think that we have a very good company, but I think that sometimes you see it, and especially in this whole Facebook social media world, that, you see this person doing this and you're like, and then you meet that person, you're like, that person's a dipshit. And I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying, but it's like, we're not doing enough. We need to do more, like we know that we should be here. And I feel like we rack our brains and work so hard that sometimes it's, I don't know. It gets frustrating, knowing how hard you work when the outcome isn't there, but then you see the outcome somewhere else. It makes you start to look in the mirror, which
and
we're not perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you try really hard and woohoo. We tried a couple things, didn't work, boohoo. But Gil was asking you earlier, Tommy, like, what's next? And I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, yeah, so when you get to 10 million, what's going to, is that you're going to be happy there? And I'm like, well, I'm not unhappy where I am. I'm not going to be unhappy where I'm at. It's just my why is not money. My why is just I like to see everything come through fruition. I'm just, I love to see everyone win. I want to see Gil win. I want to see the CSR win. I want to see everybody win. Exactly your wording, Tommy. And that's why I absorb everything you say, because I think we're on that same frequency. What is your why? If you had to articulate your why, what is it?
Well, it happened during COVID when I had people lined out my door before PPP money was even in existence. And people walked in here and said, I want to take a demotion. My wife makes a lot of money. I want to give up all my sick days, or I'm willing to do this above and beyond. And there was a line of people willing to I thought they were all going to quit. And I knew I had to become a better leader. If they cared this much about this organization, about this community, about this cohort of people, I knew I had to become better. So my goal is to help dreams come true, to actually have people go back to when they were kids and start dreaming about their bucket list, about their relationships, about their dreams, and peel back that onion and get them to want more, dream bigger. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, at 10 million, you're not going to be happy. At 100 million, you're not going to be happy because, we're builders. We want to continue. When you get really good at something, do you think people said to Michael Jordan at 26, hey, dude, you're at the top. Do you think anybody says to Tiger Woods, you've already won enough majors? No, we're doers. We want to continue to grow. We want to leave a legacy. So we're never really content. We like to celebrate the wins, but we like to continue to grow. And I don't see myself as just somebody that's like, oh, yeah, you made it. You did it. Now you can retire in peace. What the hell does retirement mean? I don't feel like I go to work at all. My why is to help people dream bigger and help them accomplish their goals, but they're going to do that through hard work and discipline and consistency. Mm-hmm. And what that means is we built a calculator out. I can take any role in this company and show them how to make what they need to make. And I hope they don't want to make 70 or 80 or 100 grand. I hope they want a lot more than that. And people say, how's that even possible? And it's not one way to make. If you recruit somebody, you get $1,500. You recruit 2 people a month. That's an extra, 36 grand a year. So we've got a lot of ways to make money here. And then, I will say I've been very fortunate enough to have a mechanism in the company to give people equity. And, that it's not something where I tell owners to play around with. You need to be at a certain level to be able to do these things. It costs 300 grand just to build the mechanism, the plan to do that. So I'm very, very fortunate. But one thing I want to tell you, Gil, is FUCK what you see on Facebook, because most of the people you're watching are losers. And they tell a whole different story. When you go look at their books, when you see their real success, it's bullshit. Yep. So I don't want you'll never see me posting about the fancy cars in the house. I have a beautiful house. It's a massive house. I love this house. I also have an apartment complex. I lived in my own apartment for 4 years. But you don't know how good you have it till you've been to the rock bottom. And I'll tell you, I don't believe anything anybody says because I've seen behind the books. I know what they're doing. I know some of the best mentors out there, the best coaches. You know why people go to coach? It's because they couldn't make it in the real world. They want to be this figurehead. So be careful what you look at on Facebook and social media is all I'd be telling you, because I want to know, what's your real profit? Who had a $100 million plus exit? Who had a $200 million exit? Who had even more than that? Those are the people you want to be following, because you might see all these fancy things, but it's bullshit. It's all facade.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear you say that. And to be honest, I hate to admit this, but I've always tried to be nice and not that I was naive, but I never wanted to say what I wanted to say. Like when I I'd have some people on, and I'm not saying anybody's name in particular. I wouldn't do that, at least not on this show. But it's and I feel bad when you see that and you watch it so much that, you know, I was doing exactly what I was telling other people not to do, you know, like, but it's bad. And when you start hearing like different things and seeing the behind the scenes stuff, and you're like, dude, all that stuff I thought was all bullshit. Like, I just let this man or woman rent space in my head for a fucking lie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? So, but it is what it is. But I'm really glad that you said that. I've said it a million times over the last like year or so, but it's powerful coming from somebody like you who is up there. But to kind of shift directions, I would love to know, before we get into the new book, I would love to know, when you created the first book, Home Service Millionaire, like what happened that you were like, I'm going to write a book?
Well, I happen to meet some really, really great people. Al Levy is at the forefront of it. And I started up a podcast, and I had a book in mind. I called it The Home Service Millionaire. I handed it to Al Levy the first time meeting him at lunch after we did a podcast. And he flipped through it and said, it's garbage. He said, I'd rewrite it. And he said, you should call on the experts that helped you get to where you're at. And so I got 12 co-authors and rewrote the whole damn book. But I wanted to share.
Roy one of them?
What's that?
Was Roy Williams one of them?
No, Roy's a great guy. I spent some time with him in Austin. But I had Al Levy, Alan Rohr, Darius Livers. I had Ara Madessian, the CEO of Service Titan. I had just really, really smart people at different aspects of business. Mm-hmm. And I just said, I'm going to go out and get the experts that have taught me, or people that I know are going to be able to contribute to this book. And that's what I think made it very powerful. It wasn't just Tommy Mello's experiences. It was coming from people that I knew were tried and true at that aspect of business. And, you know, people ask, why do you podcast? The real reason, there's a lot of reasons why I podcast, but it really helped my business out. Somebody listened to my podcast through number 1 through 40. They said that got me to 15 million. I listened to, 40 through 120. That got me to the next level. And it kind of was a time lapse of what was going on in my business, seeking out the help I needed. And it was understanding how to hire right, the right way to mentor, the right way to track KPIs, the right way to run HR, things that I didn't want to know. I never wanted to know until I needed to know. And that's what I've used books. And to write a book, it's like when you're training somebody at the gym, you go work out with a buddy, all of a sudden your workouts become 10 times better. Because you need to focus. You don't want to cheat on bench press, right? You don't want to lift up your back, and you want to make sure you're doing things right, because you're kind of mentoring. So you want to become the best version of yourself when you do it. And when you write a book, you got to do research, and you got to really, really learn in the process. And I'm a big learner. I'm a student for life. And that's why I'm going to continue to write books and share. And I'm going to continue to get the smartest people in the world at different subjects. I always have co-authors in any book I'll ever write.
Very cool. Yeah. Elevate was a great book. In the midst of, our plan that we're talking about was like, okay, we need to hire 3 CSRs. So listening to your book, I was like, this is so perfect. And that's exactly what we did, is we hired 3 CSRs, all on a performance-based pay structure. They were able to make the performance day one when they started. And, we basically said, we're going to start at 15, then you can do 20, and then you can get up to 25 plus commission. So it was very practical day one.
Yeah, and the book Elevate, it's Build a Business Where Everybody Wins. I had one of my regional managers, Brian, who really sat down with me, Al Levy, and Adam, and we established scorecards and what we're going to be grading on. And I love performance pay. It's so much better than commission, because people hate the word commission and customers hate the word commission. Performance pay, with a technician, I look at average tickets, 40% of it. But I also look at your callback ratio. How many service agreements did you get? Did you offer financing? There's all these things. And now we've got software that automates the scorecards. And I'm sharing that at the event in November. But it's something to where we put so much time and energy behind this stuff. And listen, this might sound cliche. It might sound bad. But money is a byproduct of doing the right thing. It's about caring. It's about taking the time to give back. And money comes when you do good deeds. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. And I'm a true testament of that. And that's why I share so much. And I promise you guys, I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but we run a damn good business. And it's only getting better. It's the best we've ever been, but the worst we'll ever be, because tomorrow we're going to be a little bit better. And I don't think there's a lot of businesses my business is a culmination of a lot of great HVAC companies. I spent time with Leland and Keegan, and I went out to, I spent time with Ken Goodrich. I went to every major shop in the country, and I've learned so much that I decided they gave so much to me. Why not pay it forward? So that's where we're at today.
And I'm sorry. I'm so glad you said that. So people watching this, just because Tommy owns a garage door company, his books refer to the home service industry, and the things that he teaches. It doesn't matter if you're a plumbing company, any service business. These things can be implemented and will be successful. So I just want to make sure that you all understand that, because I know some people, he does garage doors. Doesn't matter. It's just same model, just put in the different box you're selling.
I can talk about HVAC to the day I die. I mean, listen, here's some tips. Number one, if you're not having a morning mojo call with every technician in the company and having them dial in and talk about the big wins and talk about them breaking through their mental ceiling and talk about the wins, not anything saying we need to do better at this, we need to hit our goal. No one gives a shit. You need to focus on how in the hell did you do that? One day, a few years ago, a guy said, listen, I figured out a way to sell financing. We figured out a lot of ways since then. We call it promotions, and we say, did you want to use your money or did you want to use our money today? Mm-hmm. And we started presenting with options. And the best number to give is 6 options. We got 1 through 5 star in the A1 package. And the question is not what are you going to buy from us, but what package are you going to buy? I'm going to go through 6 packages, 1 star through 5 star, then our A1 signature package. And then I'm going to have you pick one that you like. How does that sound? And if you get a yes from that, then you're winning. And I can't tell you how many sales coaches I've hired. I can't tell you. I've got 2 speaking coaches for stage right now. I literally, I'm doing everything that I talk about, getting mentors, going and visiting shops. I've done it and I do it. And I'm still doing it today.
That's
when you went and got your mentors, were you looking at guys twice your size, 3 times your size? Like when you're going after mentors, who are you going after?
I only went to the biggest. The reason I chose HVAC is because I looked for all the guys with private jets. And then I went to the biggest, the best. I don't want to just see a 10 or 15, $20 million company. I went to the biggest. And I said, it's different when you walk in that building and you look and you see the productivity. The air is different in those buildings. Yeah. And when you get to see what the company looks like, a lot of people say, well, I'm not big enough for that. I'm not ready for that. And I'm like, there's so much head trash and bullshit of losers that I only want to hang around with winners. If I had the opportunity to golf with Tiger Woods or one of the best golfers, the PGA #1, I would, because I could probably learn more. People say you just take, baby steps, and maybe there's some truth to that. But ultimately, I want to see what winning looks like, what the top looks like. What am I going after? When I wrote my plan on my whiteboard, I didn't write down 10 million or 100 million. I wrote down $1 billion. I need 2,000 technicians with $500,000 a year. Now our KPIs are higher than that, so I only need 1,300 technicians. But ultimately, how do I get there, right? And it goes through 4 KPIs. 4 KPIs that could redo a dentist office, a hospital, any home service company in the world. I look at your average ticket, your conversion rate, your booking rate, and your cost per acquisition, and I'll fix any company. I can fix it all. And it's not me. It's just common sense math. And you got to have a CRM that spits out these numbers that are accurate. Most people don't have their real booking rate. Most people don't have the KPIs. Literally, if you guys seen my presentation this month, it was 200 pages of financials that we go through every single detail. I found $9 million in the last month.
Jesus.
I found we're going to get our callback ratio 4% down. It costs $200 to run a truck. By lowering that 4%, that's a massive number. Our AR, we're going to go from 2% uncollectible to 0.5%. That's an extra several millions of dollars of EBITDA. And these are easy when it's there if you just look. but most people never want to look. They don't know how to even pull those stats. And here's another tip for everybody. Hire for your weaknesses and hire people smarter than you. Never be the guy that has to jump in to fix it and be the firefighter that say, listen, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to call the vendor. I'm going to call the customer. I could do it myself. I could do it quicker than you. It's just inefficient. Let people make mistakes. Let them grow with you. It might put you back 6 months. But guess what? You're going to grow so much faster with a great team behind you.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing that, building out the plan that we have is, man, you always talk about nail it before you scale it. And we really feel like we've nailed it. I mean, we've got it nailed down. Finally, it's taken the last 5 years to fucking nail this thing. But it's like all the last 3 years is like, oh, did we miss the mark? And that's what I'm trying to do is prove wrong that we didn't miss the mark, that, if we just put our heads down and fucking try as hard as we can, we can get there.
Yeah. So I want to ask this because I know that we talked about the books, but we didn't really go into, and Ryan talked about reading the newest book, Elevate. So everybody knows Tommy's two books, Home Service Millionaire was the first one. Elevate was the second one. What ignited you to get this one? Was it just, hey, now I got tons more of information? Like, are they two totally different one? Is it kind of like you should definitely read Home Service Millionaire first and then read Elevate, or like, are they standalone?
No, they're completely standalone. I think the Home Service Millionaire book had a lot of core principles about a financial quick check and about getting the right CRM and hiring A players. Elevate is building a business where everybody wins. Your customers win, your employees win, I get to win, my vendors win, my partnerships win. And then the game of business, there doesn't need to be losers. And I was always taught, you talk about a sport, I played it. You talk about competitive, I'm a competitor. I used to think everybody had to lose for me to win. How could the employees make $200,000? How is that helping me win? How is me not paying the absolute lowest price not winning? And then I realized, wait a minute, how do I help them win? What is their 1, 3, 5 year plan? How do I help them win? I want healthy vendors. I want happy customers, lifelong customers, raving fans. I want my employees to be buying houses and going on their dream vacations and putting their kids in private school and going to Disney World for 2 weeks. And what I realized was we all get to win if your mindset changes. That's the premise of the book. Have a dream so big that everybody else's dream fits inside. And that takes hard work, determination, consistency, discipline, and money.
Yeah.
And it's all discussed in the book. And I talk about scorecards. I talk about performance pay. I talk about the right way to do equity incentive programs for your company. And when I did that, I went from 14 million to 27 million of EBITDA in 1 year by giving away money. I gave away $100 million to 25 people, 100 million in the deal we did in December. And I don't regret one thing, not one thing about what I did. And it's lonely at the top unless you share. And I'm ready to bring up a lot more people.
That's awesome. I realized you said raving. I was like, oh, Ravens fans. Oh, never mind. He said raving, not Ravens fans. No, that's awesome. And how long has his book been out?
About 6 months. I just came out with the Audible. It's available. I read the book. It was about a month ago, and there's 5 pillars. And I went to Nashville and literally brainstormed with a team for 3 days. Leadership, culture, marketing, recruiting, and systems. And it's all spelled out in the book. And it's such an easy, you can listen to it and it'll take you a couple hours. It's not a complex book with crazy ideas, but it changes the way you look at things. And I do think I wanted to make something that was revolutionary, that would change people's mindset. And, it's the E-Myth changed my mindset a lot, thinking about business as a franchise model and setting up systems. And it's not quite where E-Myth is, but it meant a lot to me to put it together. And if people get a chance to check it out, hopefully you take something with it. It's really made for management leaders and business owners, but technicians, their mindset changes too when they read this book. Mm-hmm. And I'm just a guy that's really proud of my team, because I'll tell you what, Andrew Carnegie has this quote: you take away all of my steel mills, you take away all my money, you take away all my property. Leave me with my core team. I'll have it all back in 3 years. I'm the same way. I know with my core team that anything's possible. And I have a lot of shortcomings. and I recognize them and I hire for those shortcomings. I don't need a bunch of Tommy Mellos walking around. I need people that really do a good job of bringing balance to me, but I don't want balance. I don't need balance. What I need is great CFO, great COO. I need the great people. I got a great president. I've got a great controller. I've got people that are able to give me the data to make great decisions and also could run projects by themselves. We've got hundreds of projects going on simultaneously. And in fact, I'm not involved with a lot of them. And we partner with a fantastic company. We're going to continue to scale. And, you know, a lot of people lose their identity when they do a deal with an investor. And I'll tell you this, I'm getting started. And it sucks winning and just being there without a team to celebrate. Like, what are you going to do? Pop a bottle of champagne by yourself? Be like, hey guys, it went really well for me. It's changing my family tree, but you're left on your own. It's not the way I roll.
Yeah.
It's awesome seeing somebody with your success and what you do say that, so that, because I feel like too many myths, especially once again, social media, sadly, that's where 95% of people get their information nowadays. Because they don't look at other things and they're like, oh man, these owners, these companies, they're probably assholes and they just sit back and count their money. When you realize that a lot of these companies out there and guys like you, that's the furthest from the truth. Like that's not even close. And how guys like you are building these, you know, successful, amazing businesses is, like you just said, is you're taking people with you, that people love to work for you. You know what I mean? Like if I was Joe Blow's Garage Doors and I saw some of your people at a gas station and was like, hey man, I'll give you a couple $1 raise, you come work for me. They're probably going to be like, hey, no thanks. I love where I work. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole different atmosphere. Creating places like that. It's especially in HVAC. There's such a shortage of people that if you create a place that people want to work,
yeah, you'll have a line going out the door.
Yeah, they'll come to you. You don't have to find them, because there's so many old school mom and pop shops or even bigger ones out there that treat people like they're a number and like crap, that those people are only there until they find their next opportunity. And I've seen it happen too many times.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the nature of the beast, right? And I stopped looking for technicians with experience. I make technicians. Our training school, which anybody's allowed to visit, we do two shop tours a month. You know, I could graduate 100 new technicians per month. The biggest class we had was 55. We got 20 this month. But, you know, it's something. A guy ran into one of my guys and he posted into the home service expert group on Facebook. And he said, hey, man, I bumped into one of your guys wearing an A1 t-shirt at a store. And he goes, I was taken back because I wanted to quiz him and see if it's the real deal and if this is a bunch of farce, you know, a bunch of bullshit. And he said, the guy told me he's made more money in 2 months than he made at his last company in a year, because we ended up purchasing that company. He's bought a house and that he's dreaming more than he's ever dreamt possible. And now he knows it's possible. And that meant the world to me, because I would love to tell you out of the 800 employees that I get to have a really great bond and get to talk to them every night, but that's not realistic. It's not possible. So one of the biggest things, Julian was here from Nexstar, and he said, your biggest obstacle is going to be developing leaders that can build the culture with you, that can actually have those one-on-one relationships, that can get the wife and kids involved, that can actually work on peeling back the onion and setting bigger goals. You see, the biggest problem is most people don't believe in themselves. I tell people, you're going to believe in me. I'll bleed for you. You're going to believe in the company. You're going to believe in the parts, the tools, the trademark parts, the tools, which we give each guy $4,000 worth of tools. You're going to believe in the brand new vehicles you get in Service Titan and the price book. But one thing I can't do is get you to believe in yourself and smile in the mirror and look at yourself like you're worth more. Like you deserve this. This is your opportunity. And I can't change that for you. There's nothing I can say or do. If you don't believe in yourself, we need to work on that. But I need you to be comfortable with you. If you can look in the mirror and smile and say, I'm a great person. I deserve my dreams. I want more. Then you'll get it. But a lot of people just don't have that mindset. And that's my job, is to help them find it.
That's all. Yeah. That's awesome. And I guess to try to roll this over, obviously, I'll provide links in the audio podcast. Go check out both of Tommy's books. But you're also, besides being an author and running a company, you also have an event coming up that if people are really interested in a bunch of this stuff, they can come to that event as well.
Yeah, freedomevent.com. It's in Orlando, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And I just took a lot of the people that taught me everything, and I said, can you come to this event? And people are asking me, how do you build scorecards and performance pay and equity incentive programs? How do you pull your KPIs so quickly? How do you build a training school to actually manufacture amazing technicians? And so we're having this event, and I have my own garage door event called Vertical Track. And I got so many people from other industries begging. They just started showing up, plumbers and HVAC guys and electricians and pest control and roofers. I said, I need to throw an event for the home service industry. And my main thing is I'm going to help incubate these companies to make them worth a ton of money. I understand quality of earnings. I understand getting audited financials. I understand accrual accounting versus cash accounting, things that people don't talk about. They don't want to talk about these things. They don't understand what it's like to actually sit down and figure these things out and have a guide. No one's ever helped them. And maybe they have a mentor, but what mentors are they following? Have they put it all together? There's great mentors on sales. There's great mentors that'll help you sell financing. There's great mentors that'll get your CRM set up. But my question is, does anybody have it all? And yeah, there's a lot of great conferences out there, but I just don't know if all of them are encompassing. I just want to help build companies that are worth a ton of money. That because of the worth, there's a great book by John Warlow called Built to Sell. If you're not building your business to sell, you're like, I know I should have fired that guy. I know I need to top grade that department. I know I should be rebranding. I know I need to do this. What the fuck? Like, what are you thinking? Why not today? So my job is to push, just like I push technicians and CSRs, dispatchers, and installers. Like, my job is to help these companies decide today. And I'm not going to go up there and ramble on about, look at me, this and that. I'm just going to say success leaves clues. And the real fact is, I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. I love myself. I love my family. My mom tells me I'm special every day. But I promise you, I don't have this crazy brain to do incredible things. Like, if I could do it, other companies should be doing a lot of these things. And they're out there for the taking. So I'm going to help companies build a business that's worth a lot of money and bring people with them. Because some people say I'm never going to sell my business. So you got to understand that this is an opportunity to build wealth for so many other people. And A1 doesn't define who I am as a leader. A1 is not, it's a big piece of my life, especially right now. And I'm committed. I'm the CEO of this company. But I'll tell you this, I've learned a lot from other companies. When we bring people together as a community and we work together, we talk about door-to-door sales. We talk about KPIs. We talk about recruiting. We talk about culture. Those things help everybody grow. It's what I need as a human being. I need to be around ideas. I need to be around great people. And this is my way to get 10 times that. So in a way, it's selfish.
Yeah, and what I love about your, when you go up and talk, Tommy, what I love is that you go up there and you just kind of helicopter land right in the middle of what the point is. And you don't go up there and you're like, oh, this is my family, or this is where I came from. This is that room I grew up in. You're not like, that's not on your slide. You're just, boom, this is what you need to do. And it's like, that's exactly what I want, because having a speaker to go up there and, oh, you're so relatable, and let me talk about my story. Those are cool, but when you go to an event, you want to just helicopter land into the point of what you can grab from the knowledge of that person. And I think you do that really well. And I hope your other speakers do that well too. Well, I'm sure they will.
Well, that's one thing. It's no BS. It's not about, hey, I got a great story. It's very emotional. And there are great stories that are shared on stages and from rags to riches. And I love Ishmael's story. I love hearing these come up stories, but ultimately I want to know what's in it for me. How can I apply this knowledge? What are the tactics and strategies that are going to get me ahead? And here's the deal. A lot of people talk about ideas, but no one actually goes through how to implement them. And that's one thing that I think is going to separate this event. And what does freedom mean to you? It means what I want, when I want, with who I want. It means giving me and everybody around me an opportunity to have their dreams come true. And there's no reason I've got to see other home service companies come up. I mean, this is where I've spent my life's work. This is almost 2 decades in the making. And do you know how much it means to me when somebody texts me and says, I got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old daughter, and I'm finally able to spend time with them. I'm their coach. I'm there for dinner. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father because of some of the knowledge that I've been able to implement. That's everything. And man, it comes back full circle. I'll tell you that. It's like a boomerang. It just comes back. And it's nice to know when you're out to genuinely help people, how much you can receive. And I'm a man of God. I believe in Jesus. And I know that's controversial. And I know some people might not like it. But, I was on stage. I'm on stage at Service Titan at Pantheon's event, at Service Titan's event, Pantheon. And this guy texted me a few weeks before. And he said, listen, did you make a promise to Jesus? And I said, I don't know. This is weird. Who are you? And he said, listen, man. He said, I'm not an angel. I'm not a messenger. I was watching something from you and you know me a little bit, but he said, were you on your hands and knees crying to God about something? And I said, yeah, it was a while back. And he said, are you in the right spot? Did he put you in a good spot? And I said, yeah. And he said, just remember that promise you made. And he goes, I don't know if this is hitting home at all. And I had goosebumps and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Yeah. And he said, you're there for a reason. You need to do what you promised. And, that's a deal I made. But, it's something I'm not afraid to talk about. I'm not afraid to talk about anything. And if people don't like me, I don't give two shits. But most people don't like me because they never met me. They think, who is this guy? This douchebag that's out there talking about how he's so cool at home service. I don't care what anybody thinks. Come see it for yourself.
So funny. We had a conversation talking about something with Ryan. But it's funny you say that because I've always been a Christian. I always say that I wasn't a good one. But, being friends and working for Ryan, it's brought me closer to God. Ryan's very, religious. I've become a better Christian, a better man. And I worked very, very hard all these years and I missed so much. I never had that time. And now working for Ryan, I get to go to those baseball games. I get to, be home and spend that time with my family. And that re-energized me because as a technician so long in this field, I was burnt the fuck out. Like I just had the mind frame that I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Not that I don't love what I do. I'm a second generation technician. I was like, but the helping people and the giving back, which is why I started a podcast. I'm not the smartest guy by any means in any category. But that really rejuvenated me to know that somebody, I wasn't just a number. I wasn't just a name, and giving back to somebody who gave a shit and was giving me some of the things that I was working for. It just changed it. So what you said, I'm a recipient of that from somewhere else. So I just think that that's it's amazing, and I want to see other people have that.
Well, I'll tell you this. You reminded me of something that I talk a lot about, and that's if you can't save money at $40,000 a year, you're not going to be able to save money at $100,000 a year.
Nope.
And business owners have the same problem. Most business owners and management, they think they deserve, I took all the risks. We deserve that Harley Davidson. We deserve that second house. And they never reinvest in the thing that brought them this. And, we got to put our sweat equity in because most of us didn't have $1 million to throw into the company. And if we did and we knew how to get there, it would be a lot easier. So they don't have what's called delayed gratification. And I see this a lot with owners, technicians, managers. They always get together with their significant other and say, we really deserve to do this. And it sets them back so much. Then to have that delayed gratification and say, we're going to reinvest in this. We're going to double down because we know we can control this. We know it's going to pay back dividends. And they don't have any idea. A lot of businesses, and we're going to talk a lot about this at the Freedom event, is real budgeting and how budgets are supposed to be made. And budgets all come from how many calls can I generate? What's the average ticket? What's the conversion rate? What's the booking rate? What's the cost per acquisition? Same thing I just talked about. But technicians, we built a whole calculator, calc.a1garagetools.com, that my technicians could figure out how much they need to make, what needs to happen, not this year, not this quarter, not this month, but this week and today. And if you teach these skills, these are life skills, and it's delayed gratification, it takes discipline, but it adds up to be a lot of money and a lot of freedom and a better life and better relationships and better communication and more abundance. And I just wish more people would talk about this stuff, but I know I'm going to have haters because I'm not doing something right unless I have haters. But I don't really care. Because if I cared what other people really thought, I wouldn't be on this program.
Yeah, very true. I was reading the 1-star reviews on my podcast the other day, and I got excited. And I was like, this is amazing. Especially when there's like, a lot more good ones. But I just I agree. You're not doing something right if you don't have haters. I'm sorry, Ryan, you were going to go.
No, Tommy, it's 8:10. We want to be respectful of your time.
Yeah, we got a little over time.
10 more minutes.
All right, yeah. All right. So 10 more minutes. I guess we'll go this. I mean, I'll say this, man. Tommy, I want to thank you for coming on, man. And I love the way it's not just the points and the advice that you give on, do A, B, C, D, but it's how you give it. I said this before. When you say things, you can feel the passion come through your voice. And I feel like you could tell me to go fuck myself, but the way that you say it makes me like just get pumped. And that's the truth. That I think that's why so many people gravitate to you and that you're a good leader, because everything that you do has passion, and you can see that even from afar, not even knowing you personally. I've talked to you a few times on a podcast, never met you in person. You know what I mean? But you can feel that. And I would say this, and I love how when you say these things, you're just so real about it. Like when you come on here and you talk about things you do, and most of the time you've talked about everybody on your team that has got what they wanted and not anything about you. And every time we've talked about something like that, you've diverted it really quickly on your team and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for being like that, man, because it gives all these other people something to look up to, that what we may think some of these big time owners are is not true.
Well, I'm passionate about what we've done as a team. And I'll tell you this, you got to make a lot of mistakes, but the deal is I'll bet on my team every day of the week. And I don't know, man. I can't tell you. It's crazy with the things we're working on. I mean, I had the Forest Service Titan guys at my house last night. We were having a cigar. And I said, I don't really want to be the biggest garage door company. I'm going to be, the company will be in every single market in North America. Amazon, Walmart, Chamberlain, they'll all depend on us. We have a school to train technicians. We've got brand new trucks, brand new tools. We've got trademark parts. We've got KPIs that no one else has. We're innovating. We're building AI into systems. We're doing automatic dispatching. We're doing regression testing. We're partnering with home warranty companies and actually making money doing it. The things that we're doing, we just partnered with Angie. We're partnering with Thumbtack. We're killing it with Yelp. We're working with Nextdoor. We're working with House. We're working with eLocal. Those are just simple little lead sources. We're working on things that people don't even know what they are. And the deal is, I don't want my enemies, or I should say competitors, to fail. I invite my competitors to come in and see everything we're doing. I have a company that we partnered with. When they met us 2 years ago, they were doing $500,000 profit. When we partnered with them, they were doing $3.5 million. They 7x'd in 18 months. And that's their lives have changed forever. And it's only getting started. And I have this feeling that if I win, they must lose. And people are like, why do you show us everything? Why do you tell us what you're doing? Why are you so honest? And I'm like, listen, guys, when you do better, we all do better. I had a guy in Michigan. We went into their market. Well, we had been in their market. And he goes, dude, I was terrified when you got into our market. He goes, we're making more money than we ever thought possible. He goes, it was the best thing that ever happened. And he's part of Garage Door Freedom. And that's only for garage door companies. And that's why I wanted to expand to Home Service Freedom. And it's just crazy. We work out, part of the Home Service Freedom is I worked out 70 deals. I've had a team do it. The most amazing team in the world. They worked out a process that you're going to get rebates that'll pay for the whole program. And listen, by the way, all the money goes into my staff. I don't need to make any money. $0. That's what's so nice is I'm not going into this with the wrong intentions of, if I don't make money with this consulting, then I'm broke. Let's put it this way. I make more in a month in compound interest what I have invested and what I got in the Goldman Sachs account than I made in a year before. It's crazy the power of compound interest. And like I said, it sounds like this cocky, egotistical thing, but these are just facts. I mean, it's real money. It's real. The money's not the ulterior motive, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you can give that money out. You don't have to have it all to yourself, and everyone can win. I mean, that's what you're about, man. That's why people love you or hate you.
Yeah, true. Because jealousy, and the sad part is, even more so in the United States, it's people may say, oh, I'm happy for that guy. They're not. They're jealous. That's why so many people nowadays like to surround themselves with people doing less than them to feel good about themselves. And I will never be that guy. I'll never be comfortable in my own skin. I'll always drive to do more. And if I, God forbid, I don't get to something, it's my fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's because I didn't do something.
Everybody wants to see you win until you become bigger than them.
Yep.
And then they have this envy and jealousy. And literally deep down inside, they don't even realize they're doing it, but they don't want you to keep winning. Everybody, even my best buddies, they still want to win. They want to say, I'm just as successful. They want to look in the mirror and say, I didn't get defeated. And that's okay. I mean, it's part of human nature, but ultimately, I mean, I'm not competing against anybody else but myself. Every day I decide that I'm not going to have that beer. Every day that I decide I'm going to not eat those carbs, I've gotten very serious about health. In my order, it goes health, time, money. And that's had to change a lot. I was embarrassed to get on stage. I got a little bit of a belly. I've lost 12% body fat in the last 60 days. I've cut out the alcohol and I focused on eating right and working out. I'm pretty proud of this. I'm on a lot of peptides and different things. And the trainer just said, let's put 225 on and see what you can do. I did it 22 times, perfect form.
Nice.
On regular awesome, man. And like, I'm just getting started. Like, I love when people say you can't. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And I feel so much better when I look in the mirror. I feel so much better. And like I said, I got to get to 10% by the end of the year. And that's what I'm going to do. And man, it feels good to win. It feels good to win at all aspects. And listen, I got a long way to go. I have not arrived. I'm working on myself every day. And I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of books to read, a lot of education to get, a lot of mistakes to make. But if I fall down, I'm getting back up. You better kill me because I'm coming back.
Yeah, I believe it, man. It's time, man. I don't want to hold you. So once again, guys, check out Home Service Millionaire, and then Elevate, and then Tommy has the Freedom event in November. Check those out, man. The books are amazing. I can only imagine that the event is life changing. But once again, man, thank you so much for coming on, Tommy. Like, I would love to have you anytime. Maybe me and Ryan have to work out about coming out to see you. I know I said that years ago when you came on with me and Kelly, but maybe we can try to work out something to make that a reality, because that would be awesome to see that and to meet you in person.
Well, if you guys come out, we'll make it a fun trip. I'll show you guys some stuff. There's no better time to visit from October to March in Phoenix. And I'm here. You know, a lot of people, they want all these things, but they're not willing to they're not going to go to the event. They're going to say, I just wish I'd get lucky. I'm waiting for my opportunity. So here's my question. Is today, are you saying one day that Tommy guy, one day, or is today day one? Because that's the question. Can you start now? Can everybody say, I deserve more? My dreams deserve to come true. My family needs me. They need me to be successful. I need to show up 100%. I'm ready to be the man or woman I was cut out to be. I've got no more excuses. I'm not a victim. I'm going to put 110% forward. I'm going to plan on my future. I'm going to take the necessary steps. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to have discipline to say no. And I'm going to be ultra focused, because if that's you, then you're in the right spot. You're listening to podcasts, you're self-helping yourself, you're getting the help you need. Those are the important things. And you're ready to make a change. I'm here, and there's a lot of resources all around you if you open your eyes. There's a great book, 3 Feet from Gold. And you're so close. Just stay committed. Focus on the one thing. It's right around there. You're right there. Don't give up.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, man. Yeah, exactly.
Baby.
I don't even know what to say after that. So, Tommy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, and I love it when you come on. Just hearing the different things that you say, how you say, and what you say. I just thank you for coming on, man. I know you're a busy man and taking an hour of your time to come in here and talk to me, Ryan, and my audience. I can't thank you enough, man. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure, and you guys should really take me up on it. You should come out here.
Yeah, no, and
February, first week of February, we got you.
All right, text me. I'll work it out with my amazing Allison, the EA. She is my life. She's my livelihood. She's my scheduler. So we'll get something dialed in, and we'll have a good time.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, enjoy your night. And once again, man, thank you for what you do. And thank you for coming on, Tommy. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having.
Yep. Here, we're going to go ahead and let me see this. Guys, I'm going to close this thing out real fast, man. I want to be mindful to Tommy's time. I want to thank him once again for coming on. I want to thank Ryan for coming on and helping, be a special guest host for this. Ryan's going to be on more. You guys have seen that. But this was such an awesome time, man, because we all procrastinate. We all say we're going to do things. And this is why I said that even you guys and gals out there that are technicians and you listen to this, it's hard to not be motivated after listening to this. But exactly what Tommy just said, it's about taking that motivation and implementing it and doing something. Getting motivated and doing nothing, turns in the result is nothing. Okay. So I hope that you guys listen to this and you take this, it lights a fire under your ass and something positive happens in your life, some kind of positive change. You can see my new Maryland tattoo. But anyway, thank you guys so much, especially with the time change tonight. But when you have a rock star like Tommy, you change the fucking time of the show. You just do what you got to do. Thank you guys for coming here and seeing a good number of people come. I really, really appreciate you. So real fast, thank you to all my moderators, Rookie Jason Johnson, Mr. Krause. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Adrian was in here, Reliable HVACR. Nate, what is up? I know Brett was in here. Nathan, a whole bunch of people. Thank all of you. If I missed your name, I apologize. But guys, follow me on all social media sites. Make sure to leave me a 5-star review if you have not done so already. And just help me get this out to more and more people. You'll see some videos coming out talking about AHR, which is right around the corner. Guys, remember, be safe out there. We all got somebody to make it home to. Just be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. I always say, make sure that breaker's turned off. Put your phone down when you're driving. All right. We all have somebody to make it home to. And next, do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. All right. There's no reason to say, I don't know something today. We have so much resources at our fingertips, whether it's a podcast, a book, an online course, whatever it is. Always keep trying to be the best version of yourself. And with that, I love you, mofos, and I'll see you next week. All right? Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.